NFL fans are crybabies. Like, I move around from forum to forum. I was over at the Rat Turds forum, the Ravens, and they're all like emotionally devastated. They don't know if they can carry on. They don't know what the future's bleak to them. And it's hilarious. What a bunch of losers. Like, first off, the Ravens are a pretty proud franchise. They're kind of fraudulent. Like, they're the old Browns, right? The old Browns have a lot to be proud of. I don't know how you destroy that franchise, like, and turn it into a new one, because it fucks things up. The old Browns have a lot to be proud of, and they destroyed that franchise and turned it into a different one. And all those old accolades, they don't exist anymore with the new Ravens. So all those old things that the old Browns, the old Cleveland Browns achieved, they only exist with that old team. They don't exist with the current Baltimore Ravens. If you combined them, it'd be one of the most prestigious teams in history. But it doesn't work that way. They ruined it. But even still, like, the current Baltimore Ravens are a pretty prestigious team. They have two Super Bowl wins, I believe. And they're a young team. They're technically a new team. Yeah, and they're all whiners. It's like, get the fuck over it, you pussies. The Chiefs had, like, the most prestigious start in the Super Bowl era, tied with the Green Bay Packers. They were the most prestigious, the Packers and the Chiefs. They both competed in Super Bowl I, the very first Super Bowl, and the Chiefs unfortunately lost. But it was the first Super Bowl ever, and the Chiefs were one of the first competitors. And then a couple years later, they beat the Vikings, and they were the fourth Super Bowl champion, I believe. I don't have anything to read off of. Some of this could be wrong. I'm just going off memory here. And then there was a 50-year drought for the Kansas City Chiefs. They were always competitors. They were always tough as nails. There's nothing to be ashamed of being a Kansas City Chiefs fan, right? They were always fucking tough. Always in it. They didn't have all the accolades, the fancy trophies and this and that, but fuck, they were tough, man. They were always respected. Nobody looked down on them, except maybe, like, by the fans of teams in their own division. But 50 years later, Patrick Mahomes joins the team. Andy Reid's there. And yeah, within just a few years, suddenly they're like the best NFL franchise in the world. And they'll never be topped. They're like right there with the Patriots. They have arguably the greatest dynasty ever. There's things that they have done that the Patriots dynasty, is like the most famous one. That's probably the one that people are going to remember for a while, until the Chiefs completely dominate it. But the Chiefs have already done things that the Patriots dynasty has not. So they're paving their own way. And it only took a few short years. So all these fucking crybabies, these whine ass pussy fucks, like, it can all turn around in a year. You know, one draft. You just draft one guy, and suddenly, next thing you know, just Super Bowl after Super Bowl, championship, Taylor Swift pussy fucking flying around the stadium. You don't know what's gonna happen. So stop being a whine ass. You know, this goes to, like, the Bears fans. They're always depressed. It's like, get the fuck over yourselves, dude. Like, they can all turn around before you know it. The Chiefs were... I'm not going to say they were as pathetic as your team ever. Like, I don't think the Chiefs were ever that low. But they're still a shining example of how things can turn around real fast, and suddenly you can be on top of the world and better than everybody for a decade and more. The Chiefs are going to win at least 3 more Super Bowls. And yeah, it's a good time. Stop being depressed.